Hello and welcome to Community Link. My name is Christian Hoffman. I'm the Vice President for Public Relations and Development at Community Missions. And Community Link here is our opportunity to talk a little bit about Community Missions programs, how we help the community, and how you out there, the community, can also be able to help us to help all those that are our Niagara neighbors. So we got through Christmas, which was a big thing for us. We served over 200 families and about 550 children in our Christmas program this past year. So we are so appreciative for all the different sponsors and anyone who supported that program in any way. So again, thank you to the community for all that you did to make a lot of mothers and fathers and children a much happier Christmas than it might have been otherwise. We received many tearful hugs that we wish that we could pass along to all of you out there that did sponsor, but we certainly have opportunities to help out people once again all throughout the year, but certainly next Christmas as well. So certainly stay tuned to us and drop us a line at communitymissions.org on our website there if you would like to help out with that in some way next year. We also have many opportunities to volunteer at Community Missions. You can always go to communitymissions.org/volunteer and fill out our short form there. We need volunteers each and every day to do things like chopping up the carrots and onions or salad or whatever it is down in the kitchen as we serve our daily soup, our daily meal in the soup kitchen Monday through Friday. So we need volunteers there around 9 a.m. to help us to make that happen. We also need volunteers to help us sort through the different donations of food or clothes or household items on a daily basis. And certainly we have other opportunities out there as well, kind of as needed for different things. So if you maybe just want to give back in some way, or maybe a student out there has some community service hours that they might need to knock out, please consider Community Missions and go to communitymissions.org/volunteer to be able to log in and help us out in that way. Other ways that people can help us, donations. We always need donations. Certainly financial donations make it all happen. So we would certainly appreciate you keeping us in mind for financial support, but also there's a lot of other things that you can donate to us that would help us and really help our Niagara neighbors as well. Certainly this time of year, if you or any kids maybe have outgrown any coats or warm weather gear, that would be wonderful because there are certainly a lot of men and boys in particular that are looking for those kinds of things that you can donate to us. Also food donations, any canned goods or dry goods or anything like that that have not yet expired, we would certainly appreciate that we will use in our food pantry or our kitchen. So again, you can log on to communitymissions.org and look at everything that we might need as far as donations and such. And one last thing I will mention is hiring. We have many different opportunities available. We have 22 different programs, which many of them we've talked about over the past year or so here on LCTV, on Community Link, but there's a lot of different opportunities across many different types of programs. Obviously, we work in homelessness and food insecurity and mental illness and anti-gun violence and such, and another program that we're getting ready to talk about here. So many different ways that you can help the community, no matter what your background or experience level might be. Do consider us if you're looking to make a job change or career change, or just if you want to pick up a few extra hours. We can certainly, we have opportunities to work overnights or on a part-time basis, or of course full-time work is there as well. Just go to communitymissions.org/jobs. One other, our biggest event that we have throughout the year is coming up on March 1st, Friday, March 1st, is the Sweetheart Dinner, our 27th annual, and it is presented by Northwest Bank this year as our title sponsor, which we're very excited to partner with them once again on. So we'll have somewhere between 200 and 250 people that are going to be gathered at the Sheraton Niagara Falls, and we would love for you to join us with a large basket auction. So we'll have somewhere hopefully between 100 to 120 baskets. We'll have at least that many gift cards as well that we'll be giving away. We have many other opportunities for silent auctions and other things. If you would like to donate any of those items yourself, or maybe you have something that you received at Christmas time that isn't the right color, doesn't fit right, just isn't your style, etc., you could re-gift that to us and feel good about yourself for doing so, and we could probably make a a basket out of it. So do consider donating in some way to us, or if you own a small business or even a large business and would like to sponsor, that is certainly wonderful for us as well. We'd love to have a conversation with you. Just go to communitymissions.org and look for the Sweetheart Dinner link there, or just call us at 285-3403. My extension is 2247, and we can certainly talk about how you can get involved and discuss how to support Sweetheart Dinner. If you do attend the Sweetheart Dinner, you will meet our guests who are going to be speaking to us today and will also be joining us at the Sweetheart Dinner. Joining me to my immediate right are Joshua Anderson, and then to his right is Irish Harris. They are with the Niagara P.A.T.H program, and they are both recovery advocates. How is everybody doing today?
Good.
Good, Christian. Thank you for having us.
All right, wonderful. So the Niagara P.A.T.H program, as you see here to my right, why don't I start with you, Joshua? What is the Niagara P.A.T.H program?
So PATH is an acronym for Presenting Alternatives to Treatment and Healing.
Okay. So what does that mean?
Good question, right off the jump, right? Absolutely. So I think for a long time, they've had the same response to individuals that have had substance use disorder, or if you want to call it, opiate use disorder, addiction. For us, we kind of pull it all together. It's real simple. People who have the issues, they go into the office and they sit down and they're looking at someone from the other side with their credentials on their back, and there's that power thing right there, right? Our office, although we have a nice real office, our office is the streets.
Okay.
We hit people out there. We go knock on people's doors and we quite simply say, what can we do to keep you on this side of the ground?
Right. Okay. So Joshua mentioned a little bit about that. So then day in, day out, what does your day look like? Are you in the office? Sounds like you're out on the streets a lot.
No, our office is in the van, in the truck. We're on the road and we're knocking on doors. We're giving out Narcan. That's just what we do day to day. Serving our community, meeting them right where they're at.
So do you have like a regular kind of area that you're patrolling, or you're just waiting for a phone call to come out and help somebody? What does that look like?
So our perimeters are basically Niagara County. So we serve all of Niagara County.
Okay.
But where do you think that we would show up most? Is places where there's a lot of drug activity and drug overdoses.
Okay.
Right. So like there are places where people tend to use more and we end up being there more. But how my day kind of looks sometimes, like we have specific jobs, right? I am the quick response team advocate, right? And that is anytime someone has an overdose report that's reported in Niagara County, that gets sent to us from a high intensity drug trafficking officer's desk, and we will immediately try to respond. We'll start with the phone calls. A lot of times they don't work. Most of the time they don't work. So what must I do? Well, we must get in the vehicle and go knock on people's doors. And then when we get there, that's when I think we show up, like what we do. And the reality is that we have a lived experience, both Irish and I.
Yes.
I think we can freely talk about that. And the reality is that we know what it's like to be lost and caught up and not being able to see the light at the end of the tunnel, right? And someone has helped us along the way, right? So it's a privilege to do that. Even if I wasn't even working for PATH, we'd still be doing the same thing. This is what we do. I've known Irish for well over 20 years, and giving back in a certain type of way, it's I don't want to say it's just a privilege, it's a responsibility.
Sure.
If we don't do it, if we don't offer the same services that were offered to us, then we are doing a disservice to the whole big gambit of, giving back, I guess.
Yep.
Right?
So Joshua, you mentioned quick response is your area. Do you have a specific?
So my area is really like Niagara Falls, because Niagara Falls has had a lot of fatal overdose, the most in Niagara County. And so kind of created my job as I went along, and so came up with Niagara Falls Project Prevention. And so what I do is basically go around to anywhere that I consider like hot spots in Niagara Falls and try to provide Narcan. So we have 148 Narcan boxes or newsstands in our community, from the towers that the elderly live in, or it could be barbershops, it can be corner stores, gas stations, and you'll pull up to them or go in them and they have the Narcan box here on the table. And if they do not know how to use Narcan, we will provide training for that.
Let's talk about Narcan. I didn't know much about it. I've heard of it or so when you guys came and did a training with us. What is it? When do we use it? What does it do? Just tell me about Narcan.
Sure. Well, Narcan itself, that is the actual brand name of the drug, and the drug is naloxone, right?
Naloxone.
And it's the only thing that's available to us, right? It is the last line of defense for someone that's having opioid overdose, right? This is it. It's the only thing that we got. It comes in 2 or 4 milligrams a time. A lot of times, based on what's on the street, that's not going to be enough as far as having one. So someone being administered 2, 3, 4, it's not uncommon that we see that. We see reports where people are Narcan 3, 4, 5 times, all the time. If someone is having an overdose event, this is a life-saving tool. We look at Narcan as like a fire extinguisher, right? You have a fire extinguisher in your kitchen, Christian?
Yes.
Okay, I hope you never have to use it.
Sure.
But if you have to use it, it's good that you have it.
Right.
And that's kind of what we are reporting also, right? Like we want it to be as in many places as possible because the numbers are staggering. We're just talking about what is reported to us, right? It's not uncommon that a year we'll have over 400 overdose events in Niagara County, and it's not uncommon that in the past 3 or 4 years we've had over 60 to 70 people who have died because of an overdose event. Right.
So on both the prevention and kind of the response side, what ages are we talking about? Is it younger than I'm hoping, or?
So here's the weird thing is
Yeah.
that it's changed,
I
right?
know.
The game has changed.
Yes.
It used to be a time where back, was it pre-fentanyl, where people would die at a certain age, right? It's between the ages of like, I don't know, maybe 20 and latest 40, and that's it. And now it's extended wait.
Yeah.
Because we're not talking about like just people who are like, using intravenously or banging dope.
Right.
Right? People that like because of the prescription situation, people are overdosing on pills.
Double
Right.
dosing.
Right?
Yeah, they double dosing. They might take their meds and forget they took their meds. We show up for overdose reports that a senior, might have double dosed. And so not everybody that use naloxone is an addict, but it's important that they have the information.
It's interesting. Yeah, that's something I hadn't considered.
Yeah, so we see about 1 out of 12 of the individuals that are seniors, and then we also see on the flip side, we see about the same number of individuals that might have it that are younger than that too.
Okay.
Right? It's just different time. It's just not as simple as someone smoking a joint, eat a Twinkie, and go to bed now. Right? It's different times now. Right? It's a little more extreme.
Yeah.
Right? With the youth that's going on now. Right?
Right. Yep. So again, my name's Christian Hoffman. I'm the Vice President for Public Relations and Development at Community Missions. You're watching Community Link, which is Community Missions' opportunity to talk a little bit about our programs, how we help the community.